Hello, I welcome you all to the second phase of online teaching for the course Engineering Thermodynamics. As the situation of COVID 19 is becoming uncontrollable, so perhaps I believe that we have to complete this entire semester using the online mode only. Okay, so in the first phase of online teaching, we have completed 12 online lectures. So this is 13th lecture in the series of online lectures. So in the last lecture, we were studying about entropy, where we have discussed the concepts of entropy related to the control mass systems, and in particular we have introduced the concept of irreversibility, where we have studied the principle of increasing entropy and entropy generation. Now we will start one another concept related to entropy only, which is particularly known as entropy rate equation. So whatever we have studied till this lecture, there we have always considered the change in value of property. That property is nothing but our entropy for a finite change of state. Okay. Now, in certain processes, what will be happening? Our states or the properties of the systems will be nothing but function of time. Okay, so if we are having the variation of properties as function of time, then what we have to do? We have to consider the properties in nothing but rate form. So we already know from our earlier knowledge that ds is nothing but equal to integral of del q by t plus s generation. Okay, where this delta ds is nothing but change in entropy of the system, and integration del q by t represent the flux of the entropy associated due to heat transfer, and this s generation part is nothing but generation of the entropy within the system due to the irreversibility. Now let us consider that for certain this change of entropy and whatever all other parameters I have specified over here, say this change is happening for time period of delta t. Okay, so if this change of properties is happening in time period delta t, so what we can do, we can simply write over here ds divided by delta t will be equal to nothing but 1 by t into del q by del t plus s generation. And this also, because I am writing over here in finite change form, so this over here has to be written as delta s generation. And moreover, one more thing I have to do over here, so this integration sign will also not be coming, because over here we are doing this one particularly for a finite change. Okay, we are not doing the for the entire process. Okay, so what will be happening then, this also over here will be nothing but equal to delta s generation divided by delta t. Now what we are having, we have nothing but this entropy variation in the entire equation we are having as function of time. Okay, so now if we consider that our delta t, if our delta t is very small and it is approaching to 0, in that case what will be happening, we will be getting the entropy equation in the form of ds by dt will be equal to 1 by t into delta q divided by dt plus we will be having nothing but ds generation divided by dt. Okay, and this ds by dt is nothing but we can simply write as our s dot. Okay, and that will be equal to 1 by t into del q by del t, we can simply write as nothing but our q dot, and this ds by dt we can write as nothing but our s dot generation. So it means now in this entire equation each and every parameter is nothing but is in the rate form as function of time. Okay. So one point we have to consider clearly over here, that as we have started with the equation for a control mass, so that's why whatever this equation we have obtained over here, this is applicable in rate form for a control mass. However, this equation will be very helpful while we will be deriving the entropy rate equation for a control volume. Okay, now let us try to see that as we have already derived the rate equation, if we apply this entropy rate equation for our refrigerator and heat engine, then how their work and efficiency are related. Though already I have introduced the concept of reversible efficiency as well as the actual efficiency which is associated due to the irreversibilities. But let us try to derive the same concept with the help of entropy rate equation also. Okay, so let us consider first our heat engine. So we know that heat engine is nothing but it is a device which operates in a cyclic manner. It receives QH amount of heat from high temperature thermal reservoir and it rejects QL amount of heat to low temperature thermal reservoir, and it produces W amount of work. And because this is a cyclic process, so all these heats will be associated in nothing but rate form. Okay, so what we know from the conservation of energy, already we have derived that our W dot is nothing but is equal to Q dot H minus QL dot. Okay, now for this heat engine, if we try to write our entropy rate equation, then we can simply write that change in entropy of the heat engine, because this heat engine is nothing but a cyclic process. So for the cyclic process, what will be happening, change in entropy will be equal to 0, because entropy is a thermodynamic property of the system. So that's why for a cyclic process, as initial and final states are same, that's why change in entropy will be equal to 0. So I can simply write that 0 will be equal to nothing but our summation of heats divided by temperature. So sum of heats divided by temperature will be equal to nothing but Q dot H divided by TH, because we are adding QH amount of heat into the system, whereas we are rejecting QL amount of heat from our system. So that's why we will be having minus QL dot, and that heat we are rejecting at temperature of TL. So I can simply write over here as TL. And at the same point of time, if we consider that our heat engine is not completely reversible, say some of the irreversibilities are associated with it, so in that case we have to include over here some S generation also. Say the rate of S generation is S dot. Okay, now what I can do, I can bring this Q dot L to the another side, and I can simply multiply both sides by TL. So what I will be getting, that TL by TH into Q dot H plus TL into S dot generation will be nothing but equal to QL dot. Okay, now what I can do, in the equation of work, if I replace this Q dot L over here with this new formulation of Q dot L, whatever we have derived from the entropy rate equation, then what we will be getting, that our W dot is becoming equal to nothing but QH minus TL divided by TH into QH minus plus we will be having TL into S generation. Okay, so this is something which we have got over here. Now one issue, small correction is over here. Okay, I think it's correct. Yeah. So now what we will be getting, simply if we try to see, so from here our W dot will become nothing but equal to QH into 1 minus TL divided by TH into, so QH into 1 minus TL by TH. And one mistake I have done over here. Why? Because over here this QL is nothing but this plus this, and this QL is overall negative sign over here. So the sign with TL into S generation will be nothing but a negative sign. So minus TL into S generation. So we will be getting finally our W dot equal to QH into 1 minus TL by TH minus TL into S generation. Okay. So now if you recall to our previous lectures, already we have found this 1 minus TL by TH nothing but as our Carnot efficiency, and as Carnot cycle is a reversible cycle, so I can simply write it as nothing but our reversible efficiency. Okay, so it means I can simply write that work done in an heat engine is nothing but equal to reversible efficiency into QH minus TL into S dot generation. Okay, so over here what we are having, if we consider this equation only up to this portion, then it is applicable for nothing but our reversible cyclic process. So this is applicable for reversible cycle. Okay, and what we are getting, that there is an additional term of TL into S generation over here. Okay, now we already know from the formulation of entropy that S generation is always greater than equal to 0, and at the same point of time TL is also always greater than equal to 0. Why? Because whenever we include the formulation of temperature over here, we consider it in absolute scale, and absolute scale of temperature is Kelvin. Okay, and which starts from the reference value of 0. So that's why what will be happening, both these quantities S generation and TL will always be positive. If both are always positive, in that case what will be happening, always from reversible work, whatever the maximum work we can get, from that we will be subtracting certain quantity. Okay, and that quantity is nothing but due to the irreversibility. So it means the work done by a heat engine in an reversible cycle will be always maximum, and any amount of irreversibility will lead to decrease in amount of work done for the same amount of heat input to a heat engine. Okay, so that's why if we have to now combinedly write this overall equation, so I can simply write that work done will be nothing but equal to actual efficiency of the engine into QH dot. Okay, so actual efficiency means the value of this actual efficiency will always be less than the reversible efficiency. Okay, similarly, let us try to see for a refrigerator, though already we have done the example of a refrigerator also, but let us try to see once again. Okay, so if we consider a refrigerator, we know that in case of a refrigerator, what will be happening, we will be once again having a cyclic process, and in this it will be taking QL amount of heat from heat sink, which is maintained at temperature of TL, and it will be supplying QH amount of heat to a system which is maintained at temperature TH, and in order to transfer the heat from low temperature to high temperature, it require certain amount of work, say W amount of work. Now if we write the principle of conservation of energy, so what will be happening? We are adding QL amount of heat to the system and we are removing QH amount of heat out of the system, as well as we are adding certain work at the rate of W dot. Okay, so this whole will be equal to 0. So in that case, once again, yes, so over here, why? Because we are having work which is getting into the system. So that's why what I have to do while I'll be writing the formulation of work, I have to include over here as a positive sign. Okay, so because energy is being added to the system, so this W dot will be coming out to be nothing but QH dot minus QL dot. Okay, so this equation we have got from the conservation of energy. Now similarly, as we have done for the case of a heat pump, here also what we will be doing, we will be doing the balance of entropy with the help of entropy rate equation. And once again, this is a cyclic process. So for a thermodynamic cycle, entropy change will be equal to 0, and this 0 will be equal to nothing but minus QH dot divided by TH plus Q dot L divided by TL, and we will be having certain generation of entropy. Say this is happening at S dot rate. So S dot generation. Okay. Now from this equation, if I have to calculate QH, what I will be doing, I will bring QH dot to the left hand side and multiply both sides by TH. So in that case, what will be happening? QH dot will be equal to nothing but TH divided by TL into QL plus TH into S dot generation. Okay, so once again, what I will be doing now in the formulation of work, now I will replace this QH term over here by using the new value of QH which we have obtained from the entropy rate equation. So let us do this replacement. So after the substitution of QH dot, we will be getting W dot equal to our TH divided by TL, TH divided by TL into Q dot L. Okay, into Q dot L plus TH into S generation plus TH into S generation and minus Q dot L. Okay, so now if we write over here, W dot will be nothing but QL dot will be coming out as common, and this TH by TL minus 1, this will be becoming TH minus TL divided by TL. Okay, and plus over here we will be having TH into S generation. Okay, so what we are having is nothing but TH, this term over here, TH minus TL divided by TL, this is nothing but equal to 1 by Carnot COP of a refrigerator. So what I can do, this entire term over here I can write as 1 divided by beta reversible. Okay, so ultimately what we will be getting, that W dot is equal to nothing but QL dot divided by beta reversible plus TH into S dot generation. So the meaning of this equation is that over here, first we are having W dot related to Q dot L by using the formulation beta reversible. and this beta reversible is nothing but equivalent to that of a Carnot COP. So it means that when we are having only the reversible cycle, during that time our refrigerator will be consuming the least possible amount of work. Okay, and if we include if any irreversibility has occurred within the refrigeration cycle, because of that what will be happening, we will be having the generation of entropy at the rate of S dot generation, and that will be multiplied by the temperature TH, as both are the positive quantities. So it means some additional amount of work will be added into the refrigerator. Okay, so if additional work is coming, it means always a refrigerator is nothing but a work consuming device. So it means a work consuming device always will be consuming the least possible work for same amount of desired output when it is operating in a reversible manner. Okay, and if any irreversibility is associated with the refrigerator or a heat pump, in that case what will be happening, we have to supply some additional amount of work, and that additional amount of work will be nothing but proportional to that of the entropy generation. Okay, so for an actual machine, what we have to do, our W dot will be becoming equal to Q dot L divided by beta actual. Okay, so this thing already we have seen, but one important conclusion we can derive from both these formulations, that in case of actual machines, whatever the additional amount of work, either we are getting in positive sense, or positive sense means in case of, sorry, always it will be in negative sense, but the meaning is that in case of reversible heat engine, amount of work will be reducing, and in case of work consuming devices, amount of work will be increasing. However, the rate of increase and decrease will be nothing but proportional to our entropy generation. Okay, so this is all about the entropy rate equation and its application when we are applying it over a control mass system. Okay, now apart from that, so let us try to see the formulation of entropy for open system, or I can say that for control volume. Okay, so let us try to see it for a open system. So in case of open system, if you recall our earlier lectures, you will be finding that always we will be having certain control volume, and through this control volume, along with the transfer of heat and work, say heat and work interactions are happening at Q dot and W dot rate, we will be having certain addition of the streams, means some mass addition also we will be having, and we will be having certain mass which will be going out of the system. Okay, so the energy conservation equation already we have seen for this type of open systems. Now let us try to see in terms of the conservation of entropy. So already we have seen that entropy rate equation for a control mass says that S dot is nothing but equal to 1 by T Q dot, plus apart from that we will be having S dot generation. So this was the case when we were having a control mass system. So in case of control mass system, there was no flow of any fluid across its boundary. Okay, so because of that, whatever the entropy change was happening, that was associated only due to heat transfer and due to the irreversibilities. Okay, where heat transfer was acting in terms of entropy fluxes across the boundary of the system. Now when we are having the inclusion of flow, in that case what we have to do, when this flow m dot is happening into the system, as we have already seen that it carries certain amount of energy E I, and when it leaves it also once again carries certain amount of energy E E. So at the same point of time, because entropy is also a thermodynamic property, so while the fluid will be entering to the control volume, say it was having certain specific entropy Si, and when it is leaving the system, it is having certain specific entropy, say Se. Okay. So if we are having such a scenario, in that case, what will be happening? The entropy change of the control volume. So if I write ds by dt for a control volume or an open system, that will be nothing but equal to summation of q by t, q dot by t, that we have already seen. If we are having multiple heat additions, so we have to include over here summation sign, and apart from that we have to also now consider the inflow of enthalpy, inflow of entropy because of the mass inlet. Okay, so as certain amount of fluid is being added into the control volume across its boundary, say it is carrying certain amount of entropy, say small si. Similarly, some mass is leaving out of the system, so m dot e, and some amount of entropy will also be leaving out of the system. Okay, and then ultimately we will be having some entropy generation also, which is happening at the rate of s dot gen. Okay, so we have seen, so this equation whatever I have written, this is nothing but our entropy conservation equation, which is applicable for a control volume, okay, or an open system. Now in this equation we have considered one thing, that we are having only single stream through single stream which is entering into the system, and single stream which is going out of the system. However, in actual systems we may have large number of streams which are associated with the boundaries of the control volume. So that's why if we have to write this equation in generalized form, I can write ds by dt of control volume equal to summation of q dot divided by t plus summation of m dot into si minus summation of m dot into se plus s dot generation. So over here now this summation sign we have included with the inlet stream and the exit stream, which represents nothing but the entropy associated with the inflow of the fluid and outflow of the fluid from the boundaries of the control volume. Okay, so this type of equation is actually is of generalized nature, which is having many practical applications, because in practice when we go for the analysis of the system, we will be finding that majority of the time there will be inflow and outflow of the system. For example, we have seen taken earlier also some of the examples of such systems. For example, our turbine, pump, compressor, boilers, evaporators. If we take these components individually, there we will be always finding that we will be having the situation where fluid is entering across the boundaries of the system. Okay, so this equation is very very important, because in majority of the practical scenarios it will be having applications. Okay, now this is nothing but our generalized equation for an open system. However, we if we recall our earlier discussion, we have divided the processes inside the open systems into two categories. First category was steady state systems, steady state processes, and the second category was transient or unsteady processes. So let us first take the conditions corresponding to the steady state process, as the definition of the steady state process says that the state of the system will not be changing with time, and ultimately as entropy is nothing but a property of a system, so if the state of the system is remaining constant, the change in entropy of the system should also remain constant. So I can simply say that for a steady state, ds divided by dt of the control volume will be equal to 0. Okay, so in that case, entropy conservation equation will take the form 0 will be equal to nothing but summation of q dot by t plus summation of m dot I into Si minus m dot E into Se, and plus ultimately we will be having certain entropy generation, say if I write it as S generation dot. Okay. Now if I take this m dot E and Se to the left hand side, I will be getting and say consider this equation only for the single entries. Okay, it means single incoming stream and single outgoing stream. So in that case, what will be happening? Our m dot E Se will be equal to summation of q dot by t plus S generation plus m dot I into Si. Okay, and as I have told you already that we are considering now a single inlet and single outlet stream. So for the single streams, what will be happening? M dot I will be equal to nothing but m dot E. Say it is equal to nothing but m dot. Okay, so if I divide throughout by m dot, we will be getting equation in our specific form. So we will be having specific enthalpy at point E is equal to summation of q dot divided by T into m dot, okay, plus Si plus S dot generation divided by m dot. Okay, and now if we consider the we are having a adiabatic process. So in case of adiabatic process, what will be happening? Entropy at the exit of the control volume will be nothing but equal to entropy of the inlet stream plus say small s generation as specific generation of the entropy. Okay, and now we already know that for a reversible process, what will be happening? For a reversible process, S generation will be equal to 0. So it means for reversible process, if we are having single streams and the process is adiabatic, entropy at the exit will be equal to entropy at the inlet. That is something which we have derived earlier also. So now over here you see we are having adiabatic situation first, and then we have taken a reversible situation, and for the combination of the reversible and adiabatic situation, entropy of the inlet and exit point are becoming same. So it means reversible adiabatic process is nothing but a isentropic process. Okay, and if the process is irreversible, we know that always what will be happening for irreversible process, always S generation will be greater than 0. So in that case, what will be happening for irreversible process? If I write in case of the irreversible process, Se will be always greater than Si. Okay, so it means in case of an open system, if we are having adiabatic condition and only single inflow and outflow streams are associated, the entropy of the exit stream will always be greater than the entropy at the inlet stream. Okay, if the process is irreversible. And for a limiting situation, we will be having a condition where Se will be equal to Si. Okay, so if I have to write the general statement for an open system, I can simply say that for an open system, entropy at exit will always be greater than or equal to entropy at the inlet. So this statement is nothing but our generalized statement for the entropy associated to a adiabatic control volume process where we are having only single stream associated. Okay, so this is all about the steady entropy formulation for steady state control volume. Now let us consider the transient situation. So in case of transient situation, what will be happening? We have to always consider the change of the property as function of time. So obviously, if say process is happening in the duration of time t, so what we have to do in our rate equation, we have to integrate each and every quantity as function of time. Okay, so for a transient process, what will be happening? ds by dt, we have to integrate it from 0 to t, and this has to be done over the time. Okay, because this is a time integration, and that will be equal to nothing but summation of q dot divided by t, and once again integration will be going from 0 to time t, plus then we have to integrate now the inflowing streams. So inflowing streams are nothing but summation of m dot I into si. Similarly, we have to do this integration for outflowing streams, and we have to take care of one thing, that this integration we are doing over the time, so dt will also come with each and every term. So here we are having m dot e se into dt. Similarly, plus we will be having integration from 0 to t s dot generation into dt. Okay, now this is very simple integration. If we know individually all these quantities, okay, so after that what will be happening, whatever the process time is given, or the initial and final thermodynamic states of the process are given, based on that we can simply find out the final quantities. Okay, so for example, if we consider that the thermodynamic state at point 0 is nothing but at time t equal to 0 is nothing but 1, and similarly at time t is equal to t, say our thermodynamic state is nothing but equal to 2. In that case, what will be happening? The integration of ds by dt over the time 0 to t will be nothing but equal to entropy at point 2 minus entropy at point 1, and this will be equal to, now what we are having second term as integral of q by t dt. So now let us consider that if this heat transfer is happening at constant temperature, so in that case finally we will be getting 1 by t as outside integration, and integration of q dot from 1 to 2 will be nothing but q total amount of heat transfer when the process is changing from point 1 to point number 2. Similarly, for the case of mass flow rates, we will be getting the value of total amount of mass which has transferred during this period. So similarly, we will be getting over here mi into si minus me into se, and similarly for the entropy generation, we were having earlier equation in the rate form. So this entropy is generating when the process is changing the thermodynamic state from point number 1 to point number 2. So this S generation will also be having from state 1 to state number 2. So it means this is nothing but our entropy conservation equation for a transient process. Okay. Okay, so now what we will do, we will apply this entropy principle for a single flow steady state process. Okay, so what we will be doing, we will be considering that we are having a control volume, and in this control volume only single stream is entering and a single stream is going out of the system, and this process is having Q dot as say our heat interaction and W dot as the work interaction. Okay. So for this control volume, already we know from our conservation of energy principle, we can write that Q plus HI plus VI square divided by 2 plus GZI will be equal to nothing but W plus HE plus VE square divided by 2 plus G into ZE, because we have single stream. So in order to have steady state condition, the mass accumulation within the system will be equal to 0. So therefore the mass of the incoming and the outgoing streams will be same, and we will be getting our energy equation in the specific form as written over here. Okay. And just now we have derived from the for a steady state process from the entropy conservation equation that SE is nothing but equal to SI plus integral of del Q by T plus S generation. Okay. So this also what I will be doing, I have to write it over here as small q because we are writing in specific entropy form. Okay. So over here what will be happening, integral of del q, if I try to find out, it will be equal to T times SE minus SI and minus of T times S generation. Okay. So this also I am including over here as dot. So we are considering the rate. Okay, so this will be also amount because now we have already divided both sides by m dot. Okay. So this T into SE minus SI is nothing but representing the entropy change of the control volume. So I can simply write that integral of del Q as equal to T into ds, because entropy is a property. So entropy change I can simply write as ds minus T into S generation. Okay. And we already know that our TDS is equal to, this integral will also not come because now I am writing in the specific form. Okay. And once we have this equation, we already know from our earlier lecture that TDS is equal to nothing but dH minus V into dP, where this small v is nothing but equal to the specific volume. Okay. So what will be happening? Ultimately, I'll be getting my heat transfer del Q as this TDS I can now replace with dH minus VdP, and the last term we are having over here as minus T times of S generation. Okay. So if I have to find out the total Q will be nothing but integration of del Q, and integration of del Q will lead to the integration of all the quantities which are in the right hand side of the equation. So the first quantity will be giving us integration, we are doing say from I point to point E. In that case we will be getting first integration as HE minus HI minus of integral of V into dP from I to E and minus of integral of T into S generation from I point to point E. Okay. Now what we have done, we have derived the value of Q from our entropy conservation equation. Now if we replace this value in our energy principle, okay, whatever we have written earlier, this energy equation, and if we try to find out the amount of work done over here, W. So finally what we will be getting, that W will be equal to nothing but Q. So in place of Q I can write this entire thing HE minus HI minus integral of v into dp from I to E minus integral I to E t into, so this touch is not working, t into S generation. Okay, so this I have got only the replacement of Q. Apart from this, what we are having? We are having all the, because we are doing replacement for Q and we are finding the value of W. So what will be happening? Whatever the quantities we are having over here, all these quantities we have to bring this to the left hand side. So if we are doing so, what will be happening? We will be finding finally our enthalpy as Hi minus He plus half of Vi square minus Ve square plus G into Zi minus Ze. So now if we see this equation over here, what is happening? Both these quantities He minus Hi and Hi minus He, these are same, so these will be cancelling out, and finally we will be getting the equation of work as W is equal to minus integral of V dp from I to E, okay, plus half of Vi square minus Ve square plus G into Zi minus Ze, and finally we are having one more term because of the generation of the entropy, and that is nothing but minus integral of T into S generation from point I to point E. Okay, so if you see over here, it means work done in an open steady state process is coming out to be nothing but integral of VdP plus change in kinetic energy of the streams plus change in potential energy, and then we are having certain amount which we are removing from the work. So that amount is nothing but caused due to the irreversibility associated with the process. So this quantity is nothing but as an coming as an additional penalty on the work if we are having a work consuming device, and it will be reducing the amount of the work by this much amount if we are having a work producing device. Okay, so finally if we compare that we are having a reversible process, for a reversible process this last term integral of T into S generation will be equal to 0, and if we consider that change in kinetic and potential energy are negligible, ultimately we will be getting W as nothing but equal to integral minus V into dP. Okay, so this integral of V dP is something which is nothing but work done in an open system or in a control volume system. Like you have seen PDV as displacement work or boundary work in a closed system. Similarly, in case of an open system, we can say that work done is nothing but equal to integral of VdP. Okay, so let us try to represent this equation on our PV plot. Say this is our P axis, this is our specific volume axis, and consider one process is happening from 1 point to 2 point. Okay, if you have to write down over here the PDV work, so PDV work will be nothing but this area whatever I am representing over here. So this area is nothing but equal to P integral of PDV. But so this area is applicable for a boundary work if we are having a control mass system. Okay, if we are having a control volume system where the formulation of work is nothing but equal to VdP, in that case what will be happening? The amount of work done will be nothing but equal to this area whatever I have marked using the red color. Okay, so this will be our area, that will be nothing but equal to integral V dp. So this point you have to remember, though earlier also once I have told you that in case of an open system, amount of work done is equal to integral of V dp, but we have not seen the complete derivation for that one. Okay, however, by using the formulation of entropy principle and substituting it into the energy formulation, we can find out that work done in a control volume is nothing but equal to integral of VdP. And how this work is different from PDV work, this I have just represented over this PV plot. Okay. So with this, like our formulation of work done in an open system is over. Now let us try to see some more examples of the steady state open systems where we can demonstrate the implications of entropy generations, how entropy generations lead to decrease in efficiency of certain machines. Okay, so first let us try to take the example of a turbine. So let us consider that we are having a turbine. So if I draw the process of a turbine on a TS plot, so what will be happening in case of a TS plot? Say we are having two pressure lines. One is having pressure, say Pi, and another pressure is corresponding to Pe. And let us consider that over this pressure line, we are having the thermodynamic state of the system somewhere over here. Say it is a saturated state. So this is nothing but state I. Now if steam at state I you are expending on a turbine, and if turbine is working in a reversible fashion, we already know the process inside a turbine is adiabatic. If we consider the assumption of steady state process, so the entire thing will be becoming nothing but reversible adiabatic. So for a reversible adiabatic process, ultimately that is nothing but an isentropic process. So for an isentropic process, if we have to expand the steam from pressure Pi to pressure Pe, what we will be getting, our expansion process will be looking something like this. Okay, and over here this will be our final point E. Okay, so this is the process. Say during this process we have got WR amount of work. So WR means is nothing but amount of work we have got from the turbine when it is operating in an reversible fashion. Okay. Now in actual practice what happens, because we generally expand the high temperature stream over the turbine blades, so because of the high temperature associated with the stream and in comparison to the temperature of the surroundings, what will be happening in actual practice, there will be certain amount of heat transfer from the turbine to the surroundings. Okay, as this heat transfer is taking place, so this taking place through finite temperature difference, so it is nothing but it's a cause of irreversibility, and we always know that irreversibility leads to the generation of entropy. So it means if entropy will be generating within the turbine, so that's why what will be happening, whatever the working fluid which we were earlier getting at point E, now instead of point E, it will be coming out with certain value of entropy which will be higher than the value of entropy corresponding to point E. Okay, so it means now the outlet of the process will be shifting towards the right side. Okay, and what is the extent of shifting, that has to be decided by the rate at which entropy is generating. So let us consider that this new point E dash over here is corresponding to the outlet of the system. So if you see, the entropy corresponding to point E dash is greater in comparison to the entropy corresponding to point E. Okay, so what will be happening over here, Now if I draw the actual process from point I to point E dash, which is associated with the irreversibilities, in that case what will be happening? This will be our process line. Okay. If this is our process, so what will be happening? Say during the actual process we have got WIR as amount of work. Now already I have established that in case of a in case of any system, whether it's turbine, pump, or any other thermodynamic process, if we are having certain amount of irreversibility associated with the process, that will always leading to the decrease in performance of the machine. So ultimately, if we were getting certain amount of work, now whatever the amount of work we will be getting, that will be nothing but less in comparison to reversible work. Okay. So now if we define certain efficiency for this turbine, which is nothing but predicting the performance of the turbine with reference to its ideal performance, so we can say that efficiency of that turbine will be nothing but equal to work produced in an irreversible fashion divided by work produced by the turbine in the reversible manner. Okay, so this is a parameter which will be representing that turbine is how much deviating from the actual from the ideal reversible cycle. Okay, so if it is operating in an reversible fashion, then obviously it will lead to the maximum amount of work output. However, if any certain amount of irreversibility is associated with the process inside the turbine, it will lead to entropy generation, which ultimately decrease the work output of the turbine. And in case of irreversible manner, we will be getting less work in comparison to the reversible work. So that's why we are defining one performance parameter over here, which is relating the actual performance of the turbine with reference to its ideal performance. So that's why we have defined over here WIR divided by WR. Okay, we already know in case of a turbine that if we apply the steady state energy equation, that WIR will be nothing but equal to enthalpy corresponding to point I minus enthalpy corresponding to E dash divided by enthalpy corresponding to I minus enthalpy corresponding to point E. Okay, so this is how the entropy actually lead to the decrease in performance of the actual devices when we are having the irreversibilities associated. Okay, just for your knowledge, in the practical scenarios, if we consider the range of turbine efficiency, it generally varies from 0.7 to 0.88. Okay, so this is the range of efficiency of the turbine in practical scenarios. So for the larger machines, bigger turbines, efficiency will be taking the higher value close to that of 0.88, and if we are having the smaller machines, then efficiency of the turbine will be around 0.7. Okay, now similar to the turbine, we are having one more device, which is nothing but our pump. And we already know that in case of pump, what we are having, the process is just reverse to that of the turbine. So if I consider a pump, say, so if when I have to consider the pump, I have to go to the liquid state. Okay, because pump is a device which works with the liquids. For gaseous things, we are having the compressor. So let us consider these pressures as PI and this another pressure as PE, and let us consider that this is the inlet point of the pump. Okay, so if I point is corresponding to the inlet of the pump, and first similarly we will be considering that the process inside the pump is reversible adiabatic. If process inside the pump is reversible adiabatic, this will be its exit point. And now if we consider that some irreversibility is associated with the operation of the pump, then obviously the entropy of the exit point will be more in comparison to the entropy during the ideal situation. So let us consider that this is our point E dash. So actual process inside the pump will be looking something like this. Okay, now our pump is nothing but it's a work consuming device where we are adding the work, and that work is reflected in terms of increase in pressure of the working medium. Okay, so obviously as pump is a work consuming device, so in a reversible fashion it will be consuming WR, it will be consuming the least possible work. Okay, and when we are having the irreversibility associated, the work consumed by the pump will be increasing. So it means for the case of pump, what will be happening, W reversible will be less in comparison to W irreversible. Why? Because it is a work consuming device. Okay, so work consuming device consumes less work in reversible fashion, and their work requirement increases as the irreversibility increases. So now if I have to define the efficiency of the pump, we all know that efficiency is something which varies from 0 to 1. So we have to over here reverse the definition of the efficiency. Okay, from the definition of the same for a turbine. So what I will be doing over here, I can write the efficiency of the pump as WR divided by WIR. Okay, and this efficiency ultimately will be equal to HE minus HI. So this HE minus HI will be coming if we apply the steady flow energy equation, which we have already discussed in our previous lectures, divided by HE dash minus HI. And similar to the turbine, the range of efficiency of pump is also from 0.7 to 0.88. Similarly, we are having one more device which we call as nozzle. So in case of nozzle, what happens? Basically, we provide some converging cross section for the flow, so that if at the inlet of the nozzle we are having velocity Vi, at the outlet we will be having certain velocity Ve, and that will be always greater in comparison to Vi. So this VE will be greater in comparison to Vi. Now if I plot this process once again on TS diagram, so what will be happening inside a nozzle, say this line is corresponding to inlet pressure and this is corresponding to exit pressure PE. Now first what we will be doing, first we will be considering the ideal operation from I to E, and then we will be considering the actual operation. So actual operation will be nothing but having higher entropy in comparison to the actual one. Okay, so that's why what will be happening in case of nozzle, what we will be finding that ideally whatever the velocity we could have achieved, the actual velocity will be less in comparison to that of the ideal velocity. Okay, so for this nozzle also we define certain efficiency which is referred to as the efficiency of the nozzle, and this we define in terms of its kinetic energy obtained at the output. So that will be nothing but equal to V into E dash square divided by 2 divided by VE square by 2. So by 2 will be cancelling over here, and finally we will be getting the efficiency for the nozzle as V dash E square divided by VE square. Okay, now in case of nozzle, because we are not having any rotational components involved, therefore the irreversibilities associated will be lesser in comparison to turbine and pump. So that's why the efficiency range of the nozzle varies from 0.9 to 0.97. Okay, so this is the range of efficiency for the operation of the nozzle. Okay, so what I will be doing now, with this I'll stop, and from the next lecture onwards we will start our discussion on the power cycles. Okay.